I just watched a video of a lady saying that she does not particularly enjoy being alive. And she's never enjoyed being alive. She's not saying that because she wants sympathy, she's depressed, she's saying goodbye. No. She's actually saying that because it's true, so she wants to own that part of herself. And that doesn't mean that she's not grateful. She is, but that doesn't mean that she should not own the part of herself that is not enjoying the experience. I like that video. That video hit home, and I'll tell you why. We are not supposed to truly be honest, and that makes me suspicious, especially if we're not praising life. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not feeling like, okay, this is great and wonderful experience, like, you're not supposed to be honest. Like, it is taboo to actually be honest. It's taboo to say what she had said. See, she's not saying that she's gonna do something crazy. She's just saying, it's how I feel. It's what is true. As weird as it might sound, you might think that I'm crazy for saying what I've said, but it is true, and there's a part of me maybe that I was not owning. There's a part of me that I was pushing away. Because I'm being told growing up that I'm supposed to love this. So if I don't love this, it actually means that I'm doing something wrong. It simply means that I'm not grateful. It simply means that there's something that needs to be fixed within. Like, every person who doesn't love this, they have problems. You must love this. How can you not? There is something beautiful about owning a part of yourself that society says you must hate, right? There's something beautiful about that. It is true that, we exist and we don't really understand what existence is. So obviously, because we don't have the answers to some of the biggest questions, obviously we're going to struggle in this life. Being honest about our struggles, that's a beautiful thing. Me saying that, yeah, sometimes I do feel like quitting, Sometimes I do feel that way. Or I always feel that way, but I just keep on pushing. Meaning that I've never not felt like quitting, but I just kept on pushing. I just kept on moving forward. If it's true, then that's beautiful, because I'm owning a part of myself that I've been told to be ashamed of by society. Society will say I'm weak if I come out and be as honest as possible. You see, vulnerability is considered a weakness. But I think vulnerability is a beautiful thing. I think vulnerability helps us understand ourselves better, and also helps us fix whatever we feel is broken. Or if there's nothing broken, then we accept ourselves, right? If you're vulnerable enough to really express yourself, you end up accepting yourself. Like, but then this is how I am. This is how I feel. Should other people tell me that there's something wrong with how I feel? Should the world tell me how I should feel about life, about myself, about existence, about consciousness? Maybe there's a reason why I don't enjoy being alive. Maybe there's a good reason why I don't enjoy. And this doesn't mean that just because not enjoying this, like, is considered a bad thing. This doesn't mean that it cannot be a good thing. And let me show you what I mean. Let's say, because we still don't know what life is, right? So let's say we're trapped in a prison for real. Like, it's a prison planet. Am I supposed to feel good, or am I supposed to not feel good? How do I set myself free? Let's say there are icons that are harvesting our souls for energy. Let's say that was true. Let's say to even have a chance of like freeing ourselves, we'd need to know that. How would we know that if we are lying to ourselves about how we feel about our experiences? If we're gaslighting one another, if a person feels like they're not okay, we gaslight them. We make it seem like it's their fault. It's your fault. How can you not be okay? Look at how beautiful the flowers are. Look at how beautiful this place is. If you look at the sky, the moon, everything is beautiful. Look at people. Look at the animals. Like, this is beautiful. This is a gift. It's like, no, that's not entirely true, right? There are a lot of crazy things that are happening that might also make a person go like, yeah, this is beautiful, but something about it is like fundamentally wrong. It's like if you were dating a very attractive person, but they were abusing you physically and emotionally. And someone told you that, look at this person, look at how beautiful this person is, look at the eyes, look at the lips, look at the body, everyone would like to date this person. Yeah, maybe. But what about the abuse? So yes, maybe that person is beautiful, but it doesn't mean that you must love them if they're not treating you the way that you want to be treated, if they're not meeting your expectations. And so owning that part of yourself, owning that truth and saying, yo, look, I can see that this is a beautiful person, and I would have liked this person to treat me this way, not the way that they're treating me. I don't like how they're treating me. I'm not enjoying being in this relationship. That's a beautiful thing. You're owning a part of yourself that everyone is telling you not to own, but it's still a part of yourself. It's still a part of yourself that needs to be acknowledged. See, because if you reject that part of yourself, it's gonna turn into something dark. This is something that a lot of people don't realize. How do you think I was able to keep on pushing for that long? You might think, sometimes people think that you're weak when you're vulnerable, like when you're really speaking your truth. It's like, no, you are trying to understand yourself. You see, you are shining a light on the part that was neglected, because that part will still exist within if you disown it. But then if you own it, if you say, hey, it's also a part of me, I must try to understand it. I mustn't push it away. I mustn't reject it. I mustn't pretend as if it's not there. It is a part of me. This is who I am. This is how I feel. Maybe it's because of how life treated me. Maybe it has a lot to do with something that I don't even understand now. Something that has not even happened in this world. Maybe something that happened in another world, right? Maybe it has to do with my soul. Maybe it has to do with consciousness itself. But what is true is that I'm not loving this. What is true is that if I was really given a choice between existence and non-existence, I will choose non-existence. But this doesn't mean, and I'm not even talking about I'm not even talking about suicide. I'm talking about being conscious and not being conscious, right? I'm talking about not having an experience at all. Like in the end, after having this experience, if I'm given a choice, like, okay, do you still want to be conscious? Do you still want to dream? Do you still want to be in this simulation? Do you still want to have an experience or you just want to turn into nothingness? I'll be like, I want to turn into nothingness. I'll be good. That's how I feel. If that changes, then that's also beautiful. You know, if I end up being like, you know what, I can see that we struggle a lot as conscious beings. I can see that there's a lot of suffering in this world. I can see that I'm struggling to find happiness, because that's as important, right? I want to be happy. That's the reason why you would want to have any experience, right? The point of it is being happy. It's not just to have an experience, right? That's why we are all chasing happiness. We want to have an experience so that we can be happy. So yeah, maybe you'll be like, yeah, maybe I'm not happy now. Maybe I don't know what's going on. But there's still a lot of things that are happening that are actually positive. And if I can find balance, maybe I'll be able to enjoy those. So yeah, life comes with its own challenges, but you know what I mean? You find that, yeah, my opinions change. That's beautiful too. But I need to be honest, especially to myself. So when I was watching that video, I was like, damn, this really hits home. Like, I really love her vulnerability, because we are not allowed as a society to say something remotely close to that. You know, you say something like that, you are considered to be to a person with issues, like mental issues, right? How can you know what I mean? How can you feel like that? So you gotta pay someone to tell you that, yeah, it's not okay to feel like that. But what if it is? Because it's just you are having your own experience, and you are responding to this experience. And because one of the mistakes that I see people make is that they assume that if you have a negative opinion about something, that is a bad thing. But sometimes a negative opinion is actually a good opinion, because if it's truthful, of course, if it's an opinion that comes from a place of truth. If I feel like this is a hell realm, that's how I feel. If I feel like there are some archons that are harvesting our soulful energy, that's what I think. That's how I feel. Remember, we've never been told what life is. We've never been told what the point of life is. We've never been told what the meaning of life is. We don't know if it even has meaning. And from the look of things, it seems like it doesn't. What we must understand, and this is something that's very, very important to understand. I think a lot of people don't understand what I'm about to tell you. This is really important. We live in a cult-like society. We don't live in a society where you are free to truly be yourself. I want you to understand that. So what does it mean? It means that some people who fit in the cult perfectly will thrive, they will be happy, they will enjoy the experience. But because everyone is being forced to fit in this cult, those who can't fit suffer. You understand? That's the problem. Yeah, that's the real problem. We assume that human beings are the same, so they must all enjoy this, right? It's like if you lived in a Christian country, right? You're not a Christian, you don't believe in Christianity, you don't believe in Christian values, you don't even give a damn about Christianity. Maybe you're a philosopher, right? What matters to you is thinking and actually coming up with the real truth, because that's what being a philosopher is about. You know, it's not about being delusional, right? Just telling yourself things that you want to believe. Because religion is really about, like, it's not about truth. It's really about dominance and power. It's really about telling people what to believe. So let's say you don't, you live in a country where everyone is a Christian. They will fit in, they will probably enjoy living in the country, but you won't be able to because you don't fit in the cult. So that's the problem with society here. You are not really free to truly be yourself. It has already been decided before you were born what is right, what is wrong, what is expected from a human, what's not expected from a human, how a person should dress, how a person should walk, how a person should think. All these things have been decided before you were born. So if you behave differently from how everyone expects you to behave, you're going to have a problem. There's a reason, and I think this is something that we should be able to notice now as a collective. There's a reason why the people who are very unique, they think they have mental health issues. They don't realize that the world treated them wasn't good. Maybe the world used to laugh at you when you were growing up. They treated you like you were weird. Like everyone looked at you, oh, that one is weird. I don't wanna play with this one. This one is weird. Maybe you were always the last person to get picked. When you were supposed to play games together with other kids, and you were supposed to be in a team. Maybe you were the last person because they never understood you. So you're the last person to be picked, and that's basically been the story of your life. You feel like you are never the first choice. You are always the last choice, and you are only chosen because, well, you exist. That's it. It's not really because you're wanted. You are there. Like someone should make a choice. Society can treat you in ways that are unfair, but never fails to acknowledge that, right? So if you are weird, if you are different, you'll be considered weird basically if you are unique. Everyone who's unique is considered to be weird. If someone says you're weird, what they're basically saying is that you're unique, and that should actually be taken as a compliment. It's just that because society does not treat people who are unique well, you don't want to be unique. You want to be like everyone else. You're like, hey, why can't I just be like Tom? Because Tom fits in perfectly. Tom is doing just fine. I got issues here. So, of course, not everyone is going to like the cult. Of course, not everyone is going to fit in. And we follow the same logic when it comes to everything. Like where we create a cult and expect everyone to fit in the cult, right? We create a trend and expect everyone to follow the trend. Right? Schools. You put, I had a dream about this actually. It was a crazy dream. I just remembered now. I dreamt of myself in primary school. Me and my friends weren't performing well, but there were people who were performing very well. Only when it comes to the things of schools. When it comes to other things, they were performing horribly. And I will tell my teachers that it doesn't mean that us who are not performing well, it doesn't mean that we're dumb. You're just trying to turn us into what we are not, People have different abilities, different talents, different values, different interests. What if I'm a philosopher? You're not allowing me to be a philosopher. What if I'm a musician? You're not allowing me. Because if you're going to say that girl is smarter than everyone here, you're basically saying she's better than me in every way. You're saying if we started to rap, she'll rap better than me. If we started to write a book, she'll write a better book than mine. You know what I mean? If we started to come up with our own theories about existence, it will mean that she'll come. You know what I mean? Like, you're not appreciating my intelligence, You are expecting everyone to be like her. So that's the problem with society. We don't accept people as they are. We don't allow them to thrive. We don't even help them. See, if you are unique, you don't even get help because you don't fit in the system. The system cannot benefit from you. So why should it invest in you if it can't benefit from you? Why should it include you if it can't benefit from you? You see? And you think that the reason why the system does not benefit you or doesn't try to benefit you is because something is wrong with you. Those who are benefiting from the system, they're doing something right. No, it's a cult. Not everyone is going to fit in the cult. So can we expect everyone to be happy? And what if us not being happy isn't really the problem? What if that's actually a good thing? Walk with me, walk with me. I like being deep, right? I love speaking real truth. Listen, what if us, like most people, not being happy is actually a good thing? The same way that if you have a headache, yeah, of course you think that it's a bad thing because you don't want to feel pain. But what if that headache is telling you something very important? That there is a problem. So the headache itself is not a problem. It's a symptom. You see? So now you can get treatment. You can go and see a doctor and they tell you what the heck is going on with you. Right? So the pain itself is not the problem. It's a symptom. Pain is telling you that something is wrong. So happiness itself here is not, a lack of happiness is not really the problem. You see, the problem is what's causing lack of happiness. So now as a collective, it will be good if we try to confront what is causing lack of happiness. But we first need to acknowledge that we're not happy. Because we're not. A lot of us felt happy when we were kids. We felt true happiness when we were kids. A lot of us. I don't know if, a lot of people who have not felt genuine happiness. But a lot of people have felt genuine happiness when they were kids, right? But they can't feel happiness anymore. Like that, it's like that part of them died because of the horrors that they've experienced, because of how they're being controlled. It's the same as if I took animals that like to live in the wild, that like freedom, they like running around, they like playing with other animals, and I put them with animals that they can't get along with and in captivity. If they're not happy, that's not a real problem. That's a symptom. That shows them that something isn't right. That is why they're not happy. Because when things are right, they are. So don't let people make you feel bad for being unhappy. Say, I'm not. Why should I pretend to be happy? Oh, just do this, just do that. You think the reason why people are unhappy is because they're not trying to be happy? People have been living their lives, bro. They are experts in their own lives. Yes, it's good to give each other advice. I've just recently discovered that I like snooker. I grew up not playing snooker. So yes, it does help to discover new things. But it doesn't mean that if I don't enjoy snooker, I'm doing something wrong. You see? Human beings are good at discovering what they like. So if a person is not discovering anything that they like, or they don't even find themselves in a position to even discover what they like, do I blame them? You know how hard life is? How hard it is to succeed? In this realm? How hard it is to make things work for you in this room? Existence itself is a burden. Whether we see it that way or not, people can have their own opinions, but you have to understand that once you start existing, you exist. You're always going to be conscious of something, and you're not, you cannot make yourself not experience anything, and that's what makes it a burden. A burden is something that is there, and you can't get rid of it, right? So you're just conscious. You are never not conscious. Even when you're sleeping, you're conscious. So you are never not conscious. You are always conscious, and you are bored, maybe because you keep on experiencing the same things over and over again. Now it feels like a punishment because nothing new happens. Dreams that you have, when you wake up from these dreams, even if you have a good dream, you forget these dreams. So it doesn't even feel like it's something that actually happened. It doesn't even feel like it's something that you actually experienced. So you can't go back to the memories and just appreciate the dream, right? Like, yeah, I actually appreciate the dream that I have. When I think back, that was a beautiful dream. It's like if you watch a very good movie, and after watching it, you think back, you think about it. Like, there are some movies that I've watched, and then I think about these movies, and I just feel good because I like the movie. But then you can't even remember the positive dreams that you've had, and you're not really in control of the dreams that you want to have. You just dream. You just close your eyes, and now you experience something that you didn't even choose to experience. Like, you don't have that kind of power to be like, hey, this is what I want to dream today. Okay, you know what? I've had too many good dreams. You know what? I want a dream where I'm going to have some challenges, the same way that when you're playing a video game, sometimes you get so used to a stage that you're like, okay, or to a level, you're like, okay, this is too easy, right? This is too damn easy. Can it be a bit hard so that I can, my brain will be stimulated, because now my brain is no longer stimulated. It's just too damn easy. But it shouldn't be too hard that you just can't even, you just can't win. Like, that it feels like it's unfair. Like, what the heck is going on now? Right? It shouldn't be too damn hard that it's no longer fun. It must be fun even though there's challenges, right? Because you can actually live a life full of challenges, but that is actually fun. Human beings do love challenges. That is true. But there's to be a slave. Human beings don't love that. There is to be in prison and being punished. That human beings don't like that. There is to be in captivity, right? There are things to be grateful for. I don't make videos trying to be negative. I make videos trying to be honest. I can't say there's nothing to be grateful for. There are moments of happiness. Well, it's rare to experience real happiness, because we're usually experiencing the same things, and we're demoralized as a society that we can't even get excited about anything anymore. Like, people are numb, bro. People are much more aware. The song Numb by Linkin Park. I've become so numb, I can feel you there. Become so tired, so much more away. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like. It seems like as we become more aware, we get bored. We want to detach ourselves from a lot of things. It's the things that we're not aware of that we tend to like. I do believe in the beauty of letting things be what they are without trying to control everything, letting people be what they are. Someone is a goth. Maybe that's what makes them happy, right? Should I be like, actually, I'm an expert when it comes to life. You shouldn't be like that. That's just dark. It's like, no, you're being childish, right? You're being child. Like there is something that you are not understanding. You diluting yourself. Like you are lying to yourself so much that you end up treating people unfairly because of the lies that you tell yourself. It's better for me to live life this way, and it's better for everyone to follow my footsteps. If people are not following my footsteps, then they're doing something wrong. You can end up being a bully without even realizing that you're a bully. And I give this simple example all the time. Christians who are homophobic, they think that they're defending their God because God, I can't even say it because, but they believe that being homophobic is a good thing because they believe that they're siding with their Lord. But they don't realize that they're being bullies. I've seen this done in many churches where maybe a person who's gay, they're called forward and they that person is prayed for. There's something wrong. They don't realize that that's actually bullying. They look at it as if they are making that person better, they're liberating that person. Are they? That person is the way that they are. But because we live in a cult-like society, we'll be like, no, it's wrong for you to be the way that you are. But why? Why do I think that it's wrong? And what am I really saying, basically? Because you know what that's like? And I give you this example all the time. It's like if someone is ugly and I just feel like I must mistreat them for being, and I don't mean that if you are different, you are like, it's like you are ugly or anything like that. But I'm saying the same part of us that wants to change people for who they are is the same part of us that's affected when we mistreat those that we feel are ugly, right? But the difference is that that part of us is not like it's we're misleading that part of us, basically, because we want to hate people because we want them to be like everyone else. We are telling ourselves that they are bad, blah 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 blah, while they are comfortable being how they are, right? We are the ones who make them uncomfortable. If another person is totally comfortable with the sexual preference, person is 100% comfortable, but society is like, no, you can't be like that. Someone likes rap music, grew up in a place where they don't like rap music. Hey, that's devil's music. Yeah, that's this and that. It's like, no, I just like it. Person wants to dress, you find that a girl wants to dress like a boy. That's what that's what she wants. That's what makes her happy. If we take away things that make us happy or sacrifice things that make us happy for this cult that we call society, what happens is that we forget how to be happy. We forget how to experience happiness, right? Because we are actually rejecting parts of ourselves that society is telling us that we must reject. Society is telling us to hate parts of ourselves. So if you are gay, for an example, society can say, hate that part of yourself, right? Christianity, that's what Christianity teaches. You must hate that part of yourself. That is sin. That's sinning, right? But you find that it's not sinning. It's just you exploring what is being human, what it's like to be you, basically. Maybe they can't experience the pleasures that you're going to experience being you, but it's who they are. I mean, it's who you are. So should we bully one another, or we should accept one another? Because that's a problem. It's very hard for people to actually be themselves without being mistreated, by others for being themselves. And I don't know if it's human nature, like, to mistreat those that are different, or we feel threatened by something that we don't understand. Like, we fear what we don't understand. We fear what is new. That's why we're afraid of new ideas. If a person, is running a business and someone presents new ideas, they might feel, even if the business is not really working, because they say that don't fix what's not broken. But, you could come up with actual solutions that can actually work. But the person doesn't want to change at all. That's why people don't change. How many people have changed in their lives? It's like people have always been the same, right? A lot of people have always been the same. They never change. They are comfortable fitting in so much that they have to, they don't want to, be different. Like, there's a lot of consequences that I'm going to face if I'm going to be myself, if I'm going to be me, if I'm going to stand for what I believe in, if I'm going to express myself, if I allow people to know me. So you end up not really having a full human experience. Yes, it sucks that we live in a cult-like society that won't really allow you to be yourself. So you suffer for being yourself, but you also suffer for not being yourself. So either way you suffer, because if you're not going to be yourself, you will want to be yourself. Like, you'll be sad. So okay, you seem happy on the outside, right? Because you are what society wants you to be. You seem sane, you seem happy, you seem to be doing well. Everyone is proud of you because you are what society wants you to be. But you're not happy. So society is happy, but you're not, right? But what if you acknowledged what you really are? Society is going to reject you. Society is going to mistreat you. But you are being yourself. And that's when you have a chance at happiness. You won't, I can't say you'll be happy. I mean, this experience is so weird, man. It seems like there have been too many systems put in place to ensure that people are never happy, The same way that we've put so many systems in place ensuring that animals that we want are never happy, like the animals that we eat, we don't care about their happiness, basically. So even in this realm, in our reality as humans, there are too many systems placed that ensure that we are never truly happy, because you can't be happy until you're free. So if the system owns everything and it says, hey, you can only get this if you do this. If you don't do what you're told you must do, you can't get this. And you can't even if you do get this, you still have to do what we say you must do, If you stop doing it, you're not going to get this. You don't deserve this kind of freedom until you work so damn hard, until you do what, you know what I mean? Like, this system that are put in place to ensure that we're never happy, these systems are ensuring that we sell our souls without even realizing that we're doing that. You could look at people who do things that you consider to be immoral for money. People doing OnlyFans, like, they're evil. You don't even think they're evil. I don't even know how you look at it. But then we do sell our bodies all the time, You could just feel that you're better because, well, you're not doing what they're doing, but you might find that maybe you're not better. Maybe that's how they want to, enjoy the human experience. Maybe they actually do enjoy what they're doing. Who knows? Because what is it that's so damn evil about someone? As long as they're not stealing from anyone, they're just doing their own thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But we to truly have a society that actually prioritizes happiness and the well-being of everyone, we truly have to accept people as they are without trying to change them. If there are people in your life that you can't accept these people as they are, then let them go, right? That's the best thing that you can do. Be like, okay, look, we are so different that our relationship doesn't work, right? You don't necessarily have to tell them, but you just let them go. But society is not like that. Society is in like, okay, go and live in a place where, you don't have to be controlled by this system. There's another system that might work better for you. Society is going to be like, no, you have to change. It's one size fits all. Growing up, when we used to go to school, it wouldn't matter to our parents how talented we are when it comes to other things. Like, you find that a kid really can sing or a kid can really play soccer. You're like, damn, this is the next level. I've never seen anything like. But school first. Education is the key. You find that kid would actually be able to make a whole lot of money. But now, education is the key. Education is the key. So, of course, it will seem like that. But really, now we have a lot of people who are very educated, but who can do a lot of things that human beings should be able to do. Who can think for themselves, which sucks. Like, how many people do you think are capable of critical thinking? And do you think that critical thinking is like a gift? Like, people who are able to think critically are gifted, or you think that everyone would have been able to think critically? Of course, there's levels to everything, but yeah, everyone would have been able to think critically if we allow them to be themselves. If we were allowed to be ourselves as kids, we would have been able to think critically. Because the way that we're being treated now, we're not supposed to be what we are. We're supposed to be what the system wants us to be. Same as slavery. Like, your needs, your wants do not matter. Your happiness do not matter. What matters is the system. So you become the slave. Same thing with being religious. Like, you believe in God. So your happiness does not matter. What matters is the happiness of God. As long as God is happy, that is good, right? And we don't, and religions don't realize that that's what they're teaching. It's like, no, your happiness really does not matter. What matters is the happiness of God. If God says you must not do this, even if it's what's making you happy, don't do it. Someone preached, I came across a video on YouTube, someone talking about the story of this guy that was swallowed by a whale. I'm not even sure what kind of fish swallowed this guy. He was supposed to go somewhere where God wanted him to go, but dude didn't want to go there. He decided to go where he wanted to go. So a lot of Christians will preach this verse and say, yeah, you must listen to God. If God says don't do this, don't do it. You see, this person was swallowed by a fish. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, what about my happiness? What about what I want, God? So I mustn't do what I want. So wouldn't it be better if I'm doing what you want me to do because you want me to do it? I mean, because I want to do it and you want me to do it. So both of us are in agreement. Imagine a kind of relationship where only one person happiness counted, right? So you're in a relationship with someone. Your happiness does not count, but their happiness counts. So you should always do things that make them happy. You shouldn't have opinions. You shouldn't disagree with anything that they say. Whatever they say, go. Is that a beautiful relationship, or it's an abusive relationship? And we might not even be able to see that. So that's how this system works. It's not about our benefit. It's about the benefit of the system. How does the system benefit from our labor? And the system is afraid of anything that is true. That's the reason why God is afraid of truth. If you read the Bible, you realize that God actually hated truth. The devil loved the truth, like the opposite of God. So it's kind of like that in this society. It's like, if you're going to be real, if you're going to be truthful, this system is going to hate you because it's a system of control. Any system of control will never accept those who truly speak the truth because they will expose it. You see? So religion could never accept someone like me because I'm going to expose it. Do you see how it works? So people can never truly experience happiness because we live in a world where we are being controlled. Yes, most of us have given up. We don't even want to be ourselves anymore because we've been too damn fake that we don't even know how to be ourselves. And we are afraid because there will always be punishment. You don't want to lose your girl. You don't want to lose your boyfriend. You don't want to lose your friends. You don't want your friends to think you're weird. You know, you want to be accepted by everyone. You want to be loved by everyone. I've always asked myself why we need approval. And I thought, what if the problem of us needing approval from others, wanting to be in relationships with others, wanting to interact with others is, what if this problem is what actually created life itself? Like God was lonely and he had to make partitions of himself, or he had to make copies of himself, or he had to dream. So he needs others. But then he can't really be himself. He can't really be God if he's going to need others. He's going to have to listen to others, people's perspective. You know, partitions of himself, they're different now because they're having their own they're having their own information now. You know, there's different information that's being loaded. So now they're not really like God. And God is afraid of being alone. So, and he feels more alone when he knows that there's others, but they don't love him or they don't accept him. What if that's what created life? What if you were just bored and you started to dream? So that's why you want approval from others. So if that's taken away from you, you feel like, maybe I need to conform. Maybe I need to be like everyone else, because if I'm not going to be like everyone else, then obviously I'm going to suffer because, you know, they're not going to accept me. But I prefer being me. The beauty of being yourself is that you get to attract those who are like you, right? If you enjoy rap music, you live in a community where nobody enjoys rap music, chances are you become friends with a person like you also like rap music. You guys are going to be like, oh yeah, you like rap too? And then you end up, you know, it happened, it would seem like it happened by accident, but it's how it always happened. Like you were authentic. They were authentic. Like when, like they accepted that part of themselves, the part of themselves that like hip hop. So because both of you accepted that part of yourself, you were able to meet. That's the reason why we have this community. It's because I accepted a part of myself that I was told to hate. And because of that, I found like-minded people that I can interact with on different social media platforms, on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, via email, Twitter, you know what I mean? Like, it's because I accepted a part of myself that society said, no, do not accept this part of yourself. In fact, you must reject this part of yourself. In fact, we want you to try to change this part of yourself, because if you don't change this part of yourself, you're not going to be able to function in the world that we have created. Like, it's not okay for a person to accept that part of themselves. They should reject it, totally reject it. But that's how we got life wrong. And maybe people should just strive to be free rather than changing others. In fact, if you feel like you want to change others, I think there's a problem. Like, it shouldn't be about changing others. It's about you being able to express yourself in ways that inspire others. So if you're authentic and people can sense your authenticity and they reminded that they're not authentic and they want to be authentic, that's good, rather than forcing people to be like you. Not only will you suffer, but they will suffer because you're trying to change them. So maybe life is about you going back to what you truly are. Like the whole experience was you forgot who you were, and now you are trying to go back to who you are. Maybe that's what should be the purpose. Maybe that's how you become free. Thank you, guys.